Hello,
Hello.
hello. Oh, we both said hello.
Ooh, jinx.
Welcome to As We Art.
Yeah, I'm Candace.
I'm Monica. This is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
Yep. A vlogcast, I guess.
Vlog, is that a thing?
I guess it is now.
Vlogcast.
Because I said it.
Yeah, we're so happy you're here. We are As We Art, and we talk about the art that we're working on this week, right now, in real time. And we're also talking about what's been inspiring us. Mm-hmm. And we love to hear from others about what they're working on and what's inspiring them.
Yeah, let us know. We're here. We're all for it.
Yeah, we really are. And whether you send comments, private messages, you can add pictures. We love to see it. Speaking of pictures, we just want to remind everyone, we're talking about art. We're talking about inspiration every week. We're showing up as we art. Mm-hmm. But we do realize some of the things, because we don't have a plan or a script, some of the things we're talking about need photos to accompany them for it to make sense. So be sure and follow As We Art Podcast on Instagram so that you can see some of the visuals to things that we're talking about. It helps, I think.
Yes.
It's fun.
We hope it helps. We don't know. We think it helps. So.
We think it helps. So we're recording a little bit earlier than we normally do.
Why is that, Monica?
Why is that, Candace? We don't know where you are in the world, and we hope you're safe and things are going okay in your pocket of the world. But where we are in Massachusetts, New England, United States of America, we're about to be hit with a big blizzard.
Huge nor'easter, big blizzard, lots and lots of snow. We're slated to get about 2 feet of snow in less than 24 hours. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're going to wake up to it too. Not just the snow, but the wind wind.
So bad, like 70 miles per hour. Mm-hmm. So we're recording early in hopes that we can get this like scheduled and posted and everything before we potentially lose power. Because, it's pretty easy to lose power where we are.
Yeah. We live in a place that has above ground wires and telephone poles and electric poles.
Yep.
So when
all the poles,
yes. They're above ground. And so when snow is heavy and winds are high, they go down often.
Yeah.
It's weird to know it's coming. There's this weird mix of dread. And normally I just don't like to get caught up in like the weather reports or the fear factor but
they're often wrong. They're like, oh, it's going to be 2 feet. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, never mind. It's half rain. So,
I think we are taking this one more seriously, and we joined with the crowds going to fill our gas tank and get extra groceries and flashlight batteries because it just keeps getting, the prediction and the snow amounts keep getting worse. And there's warnings from like electric companies and the fire departments and everyone. So we are recording a bit early or in the week, which is fine with us. We're happy to be here. But it's
it's a weird feeling to like have that anticipation of something coming.
I know.
Because stuff happens in life and it happens suddenly and then you deal with it. But when you have this like build up to it, it's a very different feeling.
It's a different degree of angst, that anticipation.
Yep.
And just the hope that we stay safe, that a tree doesn't fall on our house. You go through all the worst case scenarios and we hope to keep our power. We hope to keep our internet, but we did. We went and visited some like elderly relatives and made sure they had what they needed.
Groceries and all that stuff.
Yeah. So best of luck to everyone if you're affected by this storm in the northeastern part of United States of America, or any weather that you're dealing with in your part of the world.
Yeah.
We're with you.
Yeah. Yeah, we drove past the senior center in our town, and normally they have like, this event is this week, or for some storms they've had like, radio station information for updates or whatever. The sign. About. Yes, sorry. They have like a billboard sign outside, one of those
they add letters.
Where they can add the like marquee letters,
Yeah.
And we drove past today and it just said, stay safe. So we were like, ooh, that's the senior center equivalent to thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, you're right. That's funny. It is. It's like, good luck.
Yeah.
Because there's not really a big plan. I mean, we live in a part of the world that does get snow, so there are trucks that are equipped, but who knows how long it'll take to dig out.
Yep.
So we're looking forward to being snowed in because it means we'll get to do a lot more art that we didn't quite get to this week. But let's talk about what we did do.
Okay.
Or didn't do.
This week was pretty crazy. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Yeah, I can start. This week was crazy. We had some unexpected life events being pulled in different directions, obligations, responsibilities, things that we don't need to go into on this podcast, but it definitely took us away from our environment, our home, our routine, and it was harder to kind of get that time for it to be creative. We still prioritize it and we thought about a lot of things, but I did get time to cut some glass. For those of you following, I'm making a window collection based on an artist named Aaron Douglas who did art during the Harlem Renaissance, and the published works of magazines and books that he did the cover art for, I'm inspired by. And one of them is a magazine called The Crisis, and I've made a pattern based on it, inspired by it. And this week I cut all the glass for it. I hope you can see that. I can't lift it much more. It's not very secure.
Yep. Start sliding.
But yeah, this, I'm changing it. And this is a good lesson. I didn't like the clears. I've tried 2 different ones to see which one I like better. And I'm actually changing it. So I love how her body came out and this top sphere came out. But down here, I'm going to be making some changes. And stained glass is already a super long process. So when you make changes after you've already cut, and I've done the grinding and I've done some of the foiling, it's harder to make changes at that stage. But I really I'm a visual person and I can't quite imagine what the glass will look like until it's set. And I'm going to change the clear out. It's more work, but I'm very happy to be able to do that. I want to be really happy with this window.
Yeah.
So
I think
was
it's
really
awesome too that you're
thanks.
trying different types of clears, and definitely you need the visual sometimes. So
Thank you. Thank you. I do want a texture to the clear, but I want it to be the right vibe. So I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna go back to the studio and cut some more clear. But by next week, this should be all foiled, possibly even soldered.
maybe, who knows? Depends on the power situation, I guess.
Yeah. And the other art that I worked on quite a bit was writing. Because when we're traveling or having to do anything, it's more mobile. I could work on my laptop. And it's along the same lines. I thought something was finished. I thought I had made decisions, and a short story I wrote was complete. And I got to go back and revisit it and add some a little more poetic descriptions in places that I felt like I had rushed. And this is hard. It's just like symbolic, but it's like giving yourself permission to go back and revisit something that you thought was done. Like go back and like look at it in a different way or approach it differently. It's been a few months since I completed that story. I'm not going to read the story on the podcast, but the title is kind of long. It's called Doing Time with Virginia Woolf. And for those familiar with Virginia Woolf's writing, this story will probably, hit a little different but you don't have to know who she is or what her writing's about to understand the story. It's a short story. So I'm going to be submitting it in the month of March to a couple of literary journals, which I'm excited about. But I'm extra excited that I took some time this week to kind of flesh out. Flesh out. Ooh,
I know it's an awful phrase, but
I don't use that idiom very often, or phrase, flesh out. I expanded some sentences that I thought could use a little more depth, and I'm glad that I took that time to pause and reread and listen to my intuition on that. So that felt good.
That's
for
awesome.
art.
That's great. Yeah, it really is sometimes just really difficult to give yourself that like like you said, permission to be able to kind of delve into something deeper or add more description or add more of your personality or outlook or whatever. So I think it's awesome. You're doing
Thanks,
that.
honey.
It's great.
Thanks. It felt really good because again, weird week. We had a weird week. A couple of curveballs thrown our way.
A WW. That's a weird week.
Weird week. But yeah, it felt good to be able to take that time to change your mind and change it up a little bit. So is there anything like that for you listening out there? Is there anything you revisit in life that you have revisited and changed your mind and kind of gone back in with a different angle? Let us know.
Yeah.
What'd you work on, Candace?
Ooh, so like Monica said, it's a weird week. I did not devote a lot of my time this week to art. I had a lot of obligations and things pulling me different directions, like we talked about. So for me, I didn't get to revisit my lino cut and make some prints like I wanted to. And that's okay. Some weeks I'm not going to be able to do the things that I had planned on doing. And yeah, this podcast is really like inspirational for us and really gets us into being held accountable in a way, but like makes us want to create so that we have something to share. And some weeks it's not going to happen. And it didn't really happen for me this week. So
I think I'm going to interrupt you. That is awesome to admit. Like some weeks we are recording sooner than normal. So I know you'll get to some art, but some weeks we might not. And it's still okay.
Yep.
Right. That's good.
Yeah. So the most artistic thing I got up to this week, I think, is I don't know if the folks watching can tell or have noticed, but the colors on our video should seem better and not as washed out.
Oh, yeah.
Monica and I realized that our videos, when we were exporting them from Adobe after I had added music and stuff, Adobe was like brightening them beyond recognition. So the colors of our shirts weren't right and the colors of our art were very different and we looked just bright. It was crazy. It was like, you know, just when you blow out a photograph with too much light. It was so strange.
It was strange. We didn't notice at first. We're like, wow, that light is bright. And so we like put up curtains because we have a window in this room and we're like, why is it so bright? And it's just because when it switched, you figured out, went from phone to Adobe, it added this ridiculous brightening feature automatically.
Yeah.
Because
the resolution on an iPhone doesn't match the resolution that Adobe can export with. So that was a whole rabbit hole that took me forever to figure out. And I tried a million things. And finally, like at my wit's end, I read someone's comment about how to export it with a different resolution on Reddit. So, hey, I know Reddit's not like a super fun place for people to be, but I do find some good information on there when I have like really specific questions about how to do something in art or something with video editing. So thanks Reddit and thanks the video editors that are on there because I finally got it fixed. So
I'm so glad you did. So last week's episode before it posted, you were able to fix and now we're recording. And so, but let's talk about why that was important to us because it was important to us.
Well,
right?
Several reasons. First of all, it wasn't that pleasant to watch. When things are like really washed out and really bright, and like Monica said, we kept thinking it was us. We changed the lighting. We put up a curtain to try to control the lighting, and turns out, Adobe, it's not me, it's you. And so that's one of the reasons, but there are other reasons too.
Well, we started this podcast to be completely real. We promised each other, let's go into this. This is not a place where we're going to like put weight onto like how we look or our appearance. We're here to talk about art. We're here to be real. We don't use a script. We do this in one take. We've mentioned this before. But that brightening feature filter thing that automatically happened was so off-putting because it didn't show the real us, which we're trying to do. And so we want to be as authentic as possible. And we're glad that bright, washed out light is gone, because we know in this day and age, most people want to make videos with some sort of filter. They want to look their best, right? They're putting their faces and their image out there on the internet. We get it. People want to look like perfection or better, their best selves. And we're more inclined to just be real, be natural. We're trying to keep that human touch that is
But that
missing.
is our best selves. Like us
know.
coming as we are is our best selves. Like if we were to try to look a certain way or act a certain way, it would get tiring trying to keep that up, and it wouldn't feel authentic to us, and you would notice as viewers and listeners, it wouldn't feel authentic to you. So we're trying to take a different approach and just progress over perfection. And, you know, we talked about that last week, but we just really want to be ourselves and not look like we might have died a week ago because we're so bright.
It was so pale.
Yeah.
But thank you for working on that. I know it took a while. The other thing I just want to mention in the off chance this happens with the sound, because again, we do this in one take. We're not re-recording. But this microphone wire this week was rubbing against the zipper of my zippy hoodie.
It was rubbing on my zippy.
Oh my God. My hoodie has a zipper. The microphone cord was against it, and it was like really loud. So if I'm in the video tugging at my wire and trying to figure out where to tuck it, that's why. So I just wanted to mention that because I hope it didn't get picked up by my mic.
I haven't heard it, if that helps. I think it's just
How
because,
would
like,
you
if I
hear it?
touch, this is just an audio wire. It's just for your ears. So
I meant the friction from
I'm
this
the
to
sound
this
guy.
right here. Yeah, you are the sound guy.
if I
So-
touch mine, I can hear it, but you can't hear it.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I don't get any of that stuff. So I'm very grateful I have an in-house tech expert.
I'm winging it. I had to Google it all. So
So art, yeah, let's talk about, and again, we invite you, show us what you're working on. What art projects have you finally picked up again, or something you've been working on and you're dedicated to, or that you've finished or that you've changed? We'd love to know.
yep.
Let's switch gears, talk about inspiration.
Oh, inspiration.
There's a lot of sources of it this week.
Yes. Yeah. Some of them strange, I feel.
Some of them strange.
Do you want me to start? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what inspired you, Candace?
My inspiration this week was really like, even though I knew I wasn't going to be able to do the art that I wanted to do, it is inspiring to me that I was still constantly thinking about that art throughout the week and how I wanted to do something and something I want to do in the future and another project I have in mind. So it was inspiring to me that I was still feeling creative and wanting to be productive, even though I wasn't able to be as productive this week as I would have liked. So I
like
found
that.
that pretty inspirational.
I like that.
And then the other thing that's inspiring, which I guess also kind of falls under art. So maybe I did do a titch of art. this week.
Some pronoun.
Yes. Thou did create a vision board.
That's right.
we
we brought
haven't-
back the vision board.
We used to have one up all the time that we would change and
Years ago.
switch out things and whatever. And we took it down. I don't even know why, but probably moving rooms around. We tend to do that a lot.
Yeah.
And we hadn't put it back up. So we decided to create a vision board again this week. And that was fun because it's kind of like collaging, really. We cut out like pictures of things. And so,
Yeah, old school.
yeah.
Like, we're not talking a virtual bulletin board. We like cut out things from magazines
Yes.
and
Yeah.
tape them to the wall.
Waste our printer ink. That's what we do.
It's wonderful to
Yes.
see some of the things we're hoping for, trying to achieve, moods, vibes. We just put it up there so it's like in our face every day. And it's nice to do that. It felt good to do that. Do any of you do that? Do some of you believe in that? Can you manifest things to happen? It's interesting. So we find it inspiring, and I'm glad we worked on that. But you especially worked on that quite a bit, and it is like collaging. Yeah.
It's inspirational to be able to like look up at that vision board. I'm going to put in quotes. Because it's just like, oh yeah, there are things we're working toward and it feels good. So anyway, that's my arting / inspiration for this week. What's your inspo, Monica?
Yeah, just about that vision board. It is good to do it during the winter, particularly.
Yes.
We're not
Oh my gosh.
snow lovers in that sense.
We're not snow bunnies.
Yeah. And the cold weather's been, it's always hard. But I like the idea of the 4 seasons and the cycles and the natural rhythms that brings. But realistically, Candace and I constantly daydream about warmer climates.
Yeah. We'd love to be somewhere that puts the no in snow. Which is so funny because we both grew up in a place that gets a shit ton of snow in the winter, especially when we were younger.
Yeah, I'm over it. It's not nostalgic anymore, and my back feels it when we shovel. So I'm ready eventually to be in a warmer climate.
Yes.
Inspiration for me this week, I did bring a book that I'm reading, which I will wait till I'm done to really recommend it or not. But so far, I am thoroughly engrossed. It's called Bananas. It's by Peter Chapman. This is a nonfiction book. I didn't go for a novel this time, but I love learning about other cultures, historical situations, sometimes political situations through books that I'm reading, whether they're fiction or nonfic. This one is about the United Fruit Company, an American business, and how it totally exploited, fucked over every country in Central America, some of the islands in the Caribbean, some of the northern countries in South America. It is fascinating. It is scary. It is unbelievable. Some of the propaganda and things that people fell for. And I'm not saying I'm never going to eat a banana again. I love bananas. We have them every day in our smoothie. But it's just nice to be informing myself about something historical in a book that's fascinating. And the things that I read do inspire my art. So I'm using my reading as an inspiration just to learn about it. You learn a lot about other cultures and just the shady shit that happens behind the scenes when millionaires and billionaires are at the helm.
So is it like kind of in the vein of exploitation of people for a resource or a good?
But the United Fruit Company completely took over governments. They reorganized the governments in this countries to steal land for their benefit, to have more banana orchards. It's just sad and eye-opening and interesting and timely. Yeah. It's just worth learning about. Again, I don't always have it in me. Sometimes I really just want to escape into a novel, but even the novels I pick, I generally am going to learn something about another period or culture.
That reminds me of a book that I read. It's called The Open Veins of Latin America. I can't remember the author right now, but
I want to read that.
It's so informative and also like angering because of it's about different like conquistadors and people that went into Latin America and exploited these people for, gold and silver and all this other stuff and labor and but it's really set up really interestingly because it's in like order of what they went to the Latin American countries for. So like it'll start with gold and then it moves on to other things. But yeah, also just frustrating and angering to read, but also like gaining that knowledge. I know.
Just to be aware. Yeah. We can't fix it. We can't go back in time and solve these problems, but just to increase our awareness as we go through this life as a human on this planet, just to kind of know what be more aware. Yeah.
And it also will inform your decisions in the future. If you have that awareness, it'll.
Oh, absolutely.
So hopefully we can change some things if we're aware of what's happened in the past. But
What's it called? Open Veins?
The Open Veins of Latin America.
Okay. I have seen that on our bookshelf, so I know you own that book. I will take pictures of these books that we're reading and put them on our Instagram to go along with this podcast. You mentioned you were inspired the fact that you were thinking about your art projects still, and I'm going to just piggyback off of that as well. I struggle sometimes with thinking, why bother? Why do art? There's so many other more important things to focus on, talk about, work on. Are we out of touch? Is this tone deaf? Is it frivolous? But I keep coming back to the idea and believing that art matters. Any stage of art, no matter what you're doing, that's like allowing you to dedicate some time, use your human creativity, stop scrolling, stop binge watching, and just do something productive and creative. And I think it matters. So I was inspired by the belief that, with all that's going on in our little environment of our life, but also in the bigger world, and I'm still going to sit here and decide what glass to use on this beautiful window I'm making. Yeah, it matters. And that belief is important. So that is inspiring to me.
Yeah.
And you talked about it a little bit earlier, Candace, but that idea of being able to have some anticipation of something that's coming versus something you just deal with in the moment. There's pros and cons to both, but it has inspired me a little bit this week, knowing that I'm kind of excited we might be snowed in. I know we don't like winter, and I know we want to be safe and have our power and internet and lights and electricity and be able to cook food. But there's also just, it reinforces our gratitude for these things, and it gives us a chance to kind of reset mentally, reset our priorities, spend time together, work on art, read some books. I mean, there is something nice about a snow day if everything is safe.
If it's not a tragic snow day, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So please share with us what you're working on this week, what's inspiring you, what's the weather like in your part of the world.
Yep.
We'd love to know.
Yeah, let us know. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube and anywhere you get podcasts. On YouTube and Instagram, we're at As We Art Podcast. Everywhere else, just look up As We Art, and our little podcast will pop up. Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you listen. So
yeah, we're gonna schedule this so it comes out when you're watching it or listening to it. We might be snowed under, but we're happy that this is getting out there. So thank you for being here. Thank you for following along. We hope you like the more natural lighting to show us, to show our real
and
selves.
we also hope we didn't talk it up and then can't fix it this week. So.
I know. Washed out, blinding light. Yeah, no filters here.
Yes.
We're real. We're here. We're As We Art. We're glad you're here, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks. Bye. Bye.